Good morning.
Good morning. Middle of September. Welcome.
I know, wasn't it just January?
Well, living here in the cold, no, it definitely was not just January. I have vivid recollections of January, but it was definitely just summer. I feel like summer, it was like a light switch from one day to the next. It suddenly feels like fall. So yeah, leaves are starting to fall, starting to, change around here. So the next month is going to be very picturesque and very exciting. And then it'll be hunker down season.
Yes. I'm heading home to Wisconsin in a couple weeks, and so I'm hoping to catch the gloriousness of fall while I'm there.
Yeah,
And
it
if
sounds like
anybody's
you've got it
listening from
perfectly timed.
Wisconsin, I'm going to do a cacao ceremony up in Wisconsin. So if you're listening and in the area, I would love for you to join us. And but yeah, I'm here in Florida where it's like summer 365s.
I was going to say cacao is TSA approved. You should be good there. It's not a liquid, right? Until you make it. So are you carrying 5 pounds or maybe a
Well,
pound?
maybe a pound. I
You
have
might
to
have to
see
explain it.
pardon.
You might have to explain it like at TSA.
Well, and I because I am the queen of packing light. I never have more than a carry-on, and I've many times transported interesting things such as um, venison, bear meat, goat meat. I've a bear skull was in my carry-on last time. Interestingly enough, like the bear skull, they were not interested in the least. It's always the bacon that they're looking at, and I think bacon, because of its intense aroma, might be something that they're anticipating I might be hiding, something I shouldn't be traveling with in the bacon. I don't know. And I'm always like, I know exactly how many packets of bacon are in there. Don't you get any ideas? I'm watching you, because it is the best bacon in the world that I bring home with me. And I'm like, and I'm not telling anybody where I get it because I don't want them to be sold. Make it difficult for me. I'm
You got to
joking.
protect your sources. Yep, totally.
It's the meat market in St. Cloud, Wisconsin. Go check it out. They're wonderful people.
I love that.
So, but yeah, it'll depend on how many people I have signed up, whether or not how much I need to bring. And then and my dad always has some at his house too. So I'll be fine.
Excellent, excellent. Very
So what's new
cool.
in your neck of the woods?
Well, I had a wonderful weekend. My BFF we realized she's my oldest friend. We're probably going on more than 25 years. She came up with her oldest daughter, and it's been really fun to have visitors because I'm since we're still kind of new to the area, we're still exploring. So this time just got to visit a couple of different big waterfalls, and we went out to the alpaca farm again, which I love so much. Tried a new restaurant downtown, which was really cool. I might have to stop saying that I'm from a small town, because there's so many things that we don't have, which I don't need, right? Like yet another Target. But we have such good food in this area. Like we just got this brand new deli that's has literally the best deviled eggs I've had in my life, and I'm a deviled egg snob, so that's a high bar. And then we have this beautiful new restaurant. I had the best steak ever. They grill it right in front of you, and so yeah, we have a lot of really neat options. I don't, we still have small town vibes, small town charm for sure, but we definitely got some big city food going on, and I'm really excited about that.
That is exciting. I have to say, like, I rarely eat out anymore. I am just so disappointed with the quality of food that exists out because everybody's cutting corners and trying to, and then you
Mm.
pay a ridiculous amount of money for mediocre food. And especially, I'm very lucky. My boyfriend cooks very well. So anytime we go out, we're always like, we could have made better at home. So
Oh,
it's just how it is these days. So it's all good.
yeah. All good. Well, definitely tis the season to be outside, and we're very much enjoying that. So, yeah, really fun. I haven't yet to post the pictures. I haven't had a free minute, but it's been fun.
So yesterday, um, as the sweat lodge continues to be a core piece of my life these days, and um, couple months ago, we talked about the tree falling on the shed and basically destroying the shed, and bought a new shed. But of course, like, these sheds need to be assembled and need multiple people to assemble them and need multiple hours to be able to assemble them. So my dear friend Sarah, since like this nothing was happening, she was like, girl, you and I are going to do this. Are you free? So it was yesterday morning, the two of us, and Trent was here, so he helped us out as well. But they say wear gloves, and I didn't wear gloves, and now I have a Band-Aid. um but it was like a lot of fun, just hanging out with my friend, building a shed together. And I don't know, there was something about it that almost felt like, I don't know, I was thinking about like pioneering women back in the days, and like, you literally like had to build your own house and all the things. So it um and it also, it made me think about my mom a lot as well, because she, as a woman, while she was like a very girly pretty girl, but she was also completely capable of doing all the manual labor in the world. And so yeah, I was just thinking about, like, definitely, I know a lot of women who no way in heck would they have been out there assembling this shed. And it takes a special pioneering kind of woman to get out there and do that kind of activity. So that was my day yesterday.
Well, that's good. Hey, if you came away with only a small Band-Aid, then you're good. You're good. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, because it was aluminum, so there were a lot of like sharp metal edges, and
Mhm.
I just like wasn't being mindful for 1 second. That's all it took for a nice little gash in the finger. Luckily, it was my left hand, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah,
Yeah, I think I learned that with hurricane shutters. I've put up many, many rounds of hurricane shutters, and always, always, always boots and gloves, just because they're slippery little suckers, like you think it's light and it's no big deal until it comes crashing down on your foot. So yeah. Um, that's one
yeah.
thing I do
No,
not miss.
I've done plenty of that. Yeah.
What's that?
No, I don't have any of that anymore because
Oh,
I remember doing that. I've done that in the past, and luckily I don't have to do that anymore because I have hurricane doors and windows. But the thing that made me laugh is there's so many like tiny screws and stuff that you have to. And this was the reason we didn't wear gloves. It was like you can't manipulate these tiny
mhm.
little pieces in the gloves, and so, like, yes, it's a great safety idea, and I do encourage people to be safe, but you can't manipulate teeny tiny screws with gloves on. So anyway,
Yeah.
we're good. Just one little scratch. I did notice there's a little piece of my blood on the shed. I'm like, I think we'll leave that there for posterity.
There you go. It's been baptized by the blood of Julietta. There you go. Phenomenal, phenomenal, excellent.
All right, enough about the fun. Enough about the fun. Our topic today is signs you're out of alignment and how to realign with your purpose. And
Mm.
I kind of laugh at that a little bit because I feel like being out of alignment can happen multiple times a day, even multiple times an hour. Like even while we're on this podcast, like sometimes I feel like we're like just smoothing right in there. And then sometimes I'm like, we got lost. Where did we go? So how does this play out for you? How do you know when you're out of alignment?
I mean, it's pretty straightforward for me because first of all, I'm ADHD. There's a 99% chance I'm out of alignment at some point throughout the day. So me standing in the middle of the room going, why was I here? That's like baby misalignment. Big misalignment is like when I get into the what is my purpose on this earth? Do I need to be doing what I'm doing? Like, what's the meaning of life? I get into those type spaces. I always have my whole life. I've been very concerned about the purpose of life, that big overhead view of existence, and for me, it's going back to the tools that I have. So whether it's a simple nervous system reset with some physical activity or a meditation if I feel like I need to sit still, or like our journal, that living aligned journal that we put together, like that journal in and of itself, 30 days worth of reading and writing and thinking just kind of resets the whole thing. One of my bajillion business ideas was North Star, North Star journeys, North Star retreats and things like that, because sometimes you just do, I don't know if you've ever tried to use Siri for directions and then you go into somewhere that's like off grid and this map starts spinning and all of a sudden you're in the middle of a lake and you're like, well, how did I get here? Like, where am I going? And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not broken. My compass is messed up, So sometimes I need just reset the compass, like turn it all off and turn it back on again. There's lots and lots in this life can be resolved by a quick reboot for sure. Yeah,
Yes.
that's for me. How about you?
So I guess, for me, like the easy signs of things are out of alignment is life is difficult at the moment. Like if it's not in flow and there's resistance and I feel icky, like and I know that it's time to take the pause. And, um, you know, I'll be grumpy. I'll be tired. I'll be all the things. And, um, I guess, and mental clarity as well. Like all of those things are signs like we are not in alignment. We have lost the path, the compass is off. Um, and for me, the reset is self-care. Like I said, a lot of times I'll notice I'm like grumpy and tired. Um, Make time to rest, make time to um, check in with the feelings. I always say, feel your feels, like they're there for a reason and they're there to teach you something. So get into that feeling and observe where it's from and do that work to clear that. The other thing, meditation, just getting quiet, tuning in. I am grateful. I have spirit guides that speak to me and guide the way. And when I feel like I'm lost, I'm like, hey, I need better signposts. I need better cues. Show me the way to go. And um, most of the time, they don't disappoint. There's once in a while times where I'm like, I'm not getting the cues. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. And then I also just take that as meaning it's time to go nowhere right now. It's like time to sit and digest and process and just be in the moment as opposed to worry about where am I going next. And it's definitely been an interesting, you know, I think it's mostly the adult process and definitely like shows up primarily from um, career aspect for me. because I'm definitely not anywhere where I would have seen myself going way back when, nor have I followed like the societal norms of which way to go. And that's really been because I'm not listening to anything out there. I'm listening to what's inside. And, even my spirit guides, to me, the message comes inside me. It's not like there's someone outside of there and I'm listening to this message outside. Like the message comes within. And um, it is really about getting quiet and feeling into it and listening to your heart and your soul.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
You mentioned self-care, and I wanted to share something that I saw on social media the other day. There's a colleague of mine, Susan Eckert. She's a boudoir photographer and a psychologist and therapist, and she's in that mental health field. So, kind of like, as a matter of fact, I think the name of her book is called like Body and Soul. So we have a lot of alignment in a lot of different ways, but what she shared recently was one of her exercises was create a little 3 columns, write down 3 columns, and I forget the exact terms that she used, but I'm going to say small, medium, and large, but she had something much more eloquent. So sorry, Susan, I'll dig back and find it and maybe I can post it in this, but small, medium, and large self-care. Small is if you only have like 15 minutes or less. What are 10 things that you can do in 15 minutes or less that feel like self-care to you? And that might be drink a cup of coffee or sit outside and just look out the window or read a little poem or something like that. Then the medium is like, okay, what if you have 2 hours? What if you can carve out an hour, 2 hours? What does that look like for you? Go get a massage, a Reiki session, a meditation, something like that. And then the large is like, okay, what about things like retreats and vacations and getaways or dinner with your friends and things like that? And I love having this prepared list. I love that idea because I can think of all of these things, but I can't think of it when I'm in the middle of it. Like when I'm in the middle of it, it never occurs to me to say like, okay, wait, I'm misaligned. I need a minute. How much time do I have? How do I fit this into? And then it's just too much for me to mentally process. And then I just lay down. I'm like, I can't do anything. But if I have this list, like this pre-prepared list, I'm like, this is a great idea. I had a friend, 30 years ago, she would have a pre-approved gift list for her husband. And so on the refrigerator, she would have a list of all the things that she wanted, what sizes she wore, all of the colors that she liked. And so whenever a holiday came up, it was a no-brainer. He would go to the fridge, look at the list and say, this one's pre-approved. And it was still a surprise, but she got what she wanted, right? So I kind of look at that with the self-care, like instead of impulse buying, a Starbucks or impulse buying something at a store because you're looking for that self-care, dopamine, have a pre-approved list and write these little things down. And it's like a fun little thing you can look back to when you're feeling that I need a minute, but I don't know what to do with it. Right. So I'm going to definitely implement that this week. I'm excited about that.
Did you share that post?
No.
No, because I'm quite certain I saw it too. And I was like, that's a great idea. I'm remembering it as it was economy, business, and first class was like the categories.
Maybe.
But
Maybe. I can't remember what she said. I'll have to look it up. I'll find it.
But definitely because like you said, when you're in the middle of it, a lot of times like your brain capacity is not there to tap into what is actually going to help me in this moment. And so yeah, I invite our audience to sit down and like make your list. Like what are the little things that make you feel good? And so when you're in the middle of the storm, if you can't find it yourself, like go find your list and look and like, what of these things can I do right now to honor myself and take care of myself? That's a wonderful idea. I love it.
Mm. And in that, is like our retreats, right? Our cacao ceremonies and things like that. Like there are little tiny practices that we offer that can fit into any one of those categories. And then there's big giant practices like the retreats. I was just telling someone this weekend about our upcoming retreat in January, and I'm already thinking about the weather, and I'm thinking, man, if I were in North Carolina, would I like to go to Florida for a little bit in January? Yes, I would. So I'm excited about all that we're going to do at that retreat. And for me, those big self-care things, you got to plan it in advance. It's very difficult to say, I have reached my point of stress because I didn't do the small and the medium. And now I really need a large, because if I don't, I feel absolutely insane. Like, you kind of can plan, you need to plan ahead for that. I was thinking this morning, with this retreat being in January, like, we know the holidays are coming. We know it's going to get hectic. It doesn't mean that it's going to be a miserable holiday season. It just means that it's going to be very busy, and how beautiful to be able to have a reset in January, you know? So,
Absolutely. And the thing too is that when you gift yourself those bigger things to keep you in alignment, like, you are less likely to have the little things have you fall apart.
oh yeah.
And um, you know, it's like choosing the prophylactic care. Like, let me do these things for myself so that the other things don't happen. And I feel like we've all just gotten so busy and so overcommitted that most people are not creating any space for the self-care. And then the only time they do show up is when the shit has hit the fan and everything's falling apart, and then they're running for the rescue. Whereas if you take care of yourself beforehand, even those things that might set you off are not going to set you off so intensely.
Yeah.
So
And
um
it's different learning styles too, like, some people learn better by reading the books and some people learn better by listening to a lecture. I know for me, I have gotten way more out of long weekends where I get to have experiential learning more so than reading a book. And I'm an avid reader. Like, I love reading, I love learning, I really do. But between reading, watching a video, and having the real life experience for me nails it every single time. Like, that high will last a long time, and I remember the lessons from it. So yeah, if that's
Absolutely.
that's
Without a
my
doubt.
communication style for sure.
Um, since you brought up books, I don't know if you're aware, if you have, we just have finished our Four Agreements um, book club, and um, the people that showed up for that were all like, yeah, we want to keep the book club going. And do you want to guess what book we're going to do next?
Is it braiding sweetgrass with that look on
It
your
is Reading Sweet. When I suggested it, the people in the group, like, they all like had this collective like, you know, and because I had thrown out some other books and like it wasn't happening, but when I said that book, like, it was just like the energy around it was a hell yes. And aside to that is no pressure here, but knowing that this is one of your favorite books, I'm hoping you might be able to join us at least for one of the Zooms, maybe. But I know you're a busy woman too, but it's braiding sweetgrass.
It's braiding sweetgrass. There's never a bad time to read braiding sweetgrass. It's definitely the type of book to be savored and not to be rushed. So that part is like, yeah, that part's really important.
Which
Are
is
you
why,
doing?
like, we're putting it out now. We start about a month from now, so you do have time, and we've spread it out over 3 sections so that yes, you can luxuriate in that. And I love books. I love reading. Um, but I'm not necessarily that person that's like talking about like the wording and stuff. But um, I had to look and remind myself. Robin Wall Kimmerer has just a way of crafting words together that they're delicious to read. You know, there's been many books that I'm like, I know the message in here is great, but the style of writing of that person, like it's just not resonating with me. And it's okay. It probably resonates with somebody else. And but yeah, the information in there is beautiful. And I feel like also with, you know, the last time I read it was years ago, long before the Sweat Lodge community was in my backyard. And so I'm curious to read it, you know, this time. I think it's going to hit a little bit differently than it did the first time I read it. And so yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading it again.
Well, I'm glad to hear that there was such a positive response, and that's really cool. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe I can carve out some time and make a guest appearance.
Yeah. And I will also, like, the other beauty of this is, you know, because for those people that don't live in Southeast Florida and for those that don't live in the Murphy, North Carolina area, this is by Zoom. So, like, if you want to find a way to participate with us and can't make it to our cacao ceremonies or whatever, like, anybody can access this because it's online. So, I don't know the dates off the top of my head, but it is up on the Body and Soul Events website already. So, if you're interested in joining us, check it out. And I also feel like reading, well, you mentioned that, but like we only know what we know from what we've experienced, but reading books can take you into somebody else's experience and open up ideas. And so, you know, as you're aligning with your purpose, like you can only choose from the menu that you have before you, whereas you expand your menu. And you know, and that's one thing too with my spirit guides have told me, like, keep reading, keep investigating, because sometimes we're trying to transmit a message to you, but because you don't have, because it comes to me in frequency, and then the frequency I have to translate into language. It's a complicated thing. But like sometimes they're like trying to send me a message and I just can't get it because the possibility of it isn't anywhere in my brain waves because I don't have any knowledge of it whatsoever. So reading is just a way to expand the possibilities for yourself. So yeah.
Yeah, I think what I love most about braiding sweetgrass is that it's like um gives you a different lens through which to see the world. And yes, she does it in the most lyrical, rich language I have ever read. And that's including like Shakespeare and, you know, the big guys. The way that she expresses her thoughts and concepts and things like that are just so it's a pleasure to read. It's a pleasure to read. And it's not just for, you know, tree huggers and lovers and hippies and, you know, it's really something important that I think everyone should read. Honestly, I think taking the lessons in braiding sweetgrass, you can take into any part of your life and see the world that way. And then it's like every time you learn something new, like no one can ever take that away from you. It's like learning how to read. Once you learn how to read, you can't not read. I can't hold up a series of letters in front of you and your brain not read it. And it's the same thing when you see the world through this lens, the world looks completely different. So it's, yeah, it's really gorgeous. I think that'll be
Absolutely.
a really nice group. Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, got anything else for today?
I think we are full.
We are full, we're complete. Um, I will just mention right now, next week we will be going live at our normal time, and we're doing something we haven't done in a while. Um, 3 hours later, we're going to do a podcast episode with a guest. And so I'm excited to have a guest again because it's been a hot minute since we've had a guest on the show. So I'm absolutely looking forward to that and just bringing some fresh energy to the show. So put that on your calendar, noon next Tuesday, noon Eastern time. We'll have a guest on the show, so come check it out.
And our retreat is about halfway-ish sold out, somewhere in there. So definitely pay attention to that. It's called Wild and Free. Go check out the website. And of course, you guys can always leave comments in here. We can put links in here. So however you need to interact and get your information, you can always call us. We'd be happy to tell you what it's all about. But the website's pretty juicy, pretty nice. There's lots of good info in there, so definitely check it out.
Yes, please do. And with that, I want to wish everybody a magical day.
Bye.